what we're going to do, I want you to really have an open mind. I guarantee you, we get done with this, you will be energized. How to outcoach your opponent's coaches year-round, coming up with the use of overhead plates, of cut-ups out of magazines that have nothing to do with football or special teams, cut-ups of videotape, extreme stuff that ties into special teams exactly, to get your point across to your players. And we do this in every phase, but for us, this is on special teams. Then we'll show you examples of game cuts of the extremes actually happening in games. Yes? You outcoach your opponent's coaches year-round. Who in here is a head coach? If you're going to be good or not on special teams, you want to take this back to your boss, man, because you're going to put the onus on it. If you're going to be really great at special teams or not, it's going to be based on the head coach. He's got to buy into it, understand the importance of it. It's a third of the game, but you can't spend a third of your time on it. But you're going to dwell on that, and you're going to spend a lot of time on it, such as in practice, during the regular season, high school, college, or pros, it's all the same. We come out, boom, we do 2 phases of the special teams at the start of practice. Boom, we do 2 in the middle. Boom, we do 2 at the end. 6 a day, every day. If you never tried this in high school, I want you to have an open mind. Most high schools, you're allowed, what, 15 days of spring practice, aren't you? First 4 days, guess what? It's all special teams. The guy may be the best high school quarterback that ever played. Hey, can you turn that stuff off? He may be the best high school quarterback in the country. He may be the 4th-string personal protector on punt, but by God, he's on a special team too. Everybody, we're putting in the special teams first. It ain't the last priority around here anymore. It's first. That is big. You better have a special teams captain during the season each week based on their prior game performance. How many captains are allowed to go out at the toss? Is it 4 or 3? 4. So, how you set the tone to make special teams special. You're going to have 5 captains per game on purpose, but guess what? One of those guys before the game and a half isn't going out. So the special teams captain goes out both times. He goes out before the game and he goes out at halftime. Yes? You can do some great things. Are you all set? I think you'll really get a lot out of this. Now I ask you to pause. This one does pause nicely. All right. These are attention getters.
Bill.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you got to kind of yell, scream. He stole my chair. Pause it. This is out of a magazine. I don't even remember what the commercial was for, and I don't care. The advertising, yes. What this is a skier soaring, right? You know the skiers? He's getting ready to fly down the hill. This one, Bobby April came into me on special teams. If you know anything about the Buffalo Bills, they're number 2 overall last year in the NFL again. What happens, you want to come up with overhead plates from cut-ups out of magazines. Sometimes you explain it to your kids, what it means. But sometimes you don't explain it. Then ask them, just in terms of playing special teams, what does this mean to you? Well, what this one does, there's no way a kid's going to figure this one out. So the point being here was, this guy is what? He's soaring. If we have attention to detail, men, if you really focus on the techniques we're going to teach you in the kicking game, we're going to absolutely soar. Just like that. That's skier, yes? Okay, snap it on. So I turned the sound off in this one for you, so I don't drive you nuts, but the sound's on the inside. So I'm talking to him about taking overhead plates out of magazines, we cut them out, take them down to a little print shop, and you put them on overhead plates, yes? So we're putting this up on the overhead plate. There he is, soaring. And you can bring this up to your staff also. Pause it. Here is the big secret. Every guy on your staff, how many guys are coaching special teams, have to coach as harder on the kicking game as they do in any other phase. And who are the guys that ought to really push that it happens on your staff? The OC and the DC, because it's field position, man. Big chunks of yardage here. The better we are, the better the offense is going to look, the better the defense is going to look. Okay, snap it on. But taking advantage of using overhead plates. Pause it. Here's the best one of all time. Write this down. He who dies with the most toys is still dead. I don't remember what commercial, advertising for. I cut that part out, right? But here's the important part. He who dies with the most toys is still dead. You go, hey, man, so you guys are our players. Okay, man? I'm going to tell you something, man. He who dies with the most toys is still dead. So you knock out toys and you put in tools. Men, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be the best coach special teams guys in America. We're going to give you all these great tools. We're going to give you all these great things to learn in your arsenal to be tremendous at special teams. The key is what? If you don't focus on these things and really take great pride in it, you're exactly the same as what? The kid that he who dies with the most toys is still dead. In other words, what? It does you no good for us to teach you all this great stuff if we don't see it happening. Yes? So you make your players accountable in a hurry. But I think this one is outstanding. This is outstanding. Does this make any sense to you? Because you've got to get your players accountable in a hurry at any age, which now brings up the coaching staff. Dick Toomey's now at San Jose State, yes? You want to write this down. Before your players can become accountable on special teams, who first has to become accountable? Your coaching staff. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. Dick Toomey. You're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen, which means is when you snap on your special team cut-ups, if things aren't getting done how they should get, that's a direct reflection on who? You. Not them, you. Because you're going to go A with frontline people. This is not a time to be a nice guy. We're not playing backups on special teams. Ever. We're going with the best of the best until his backup can do that skill every bit as good as he can, then we'll flip him. But not before. So it may be the third, fourth game of the year before we ever get anybody to flip. But you want to go with frontline guys. But can you see the value of explaining this to him? He who dies the most toys, when he dies, he's still dead. Because he didn't take advantage of the tools that he used, right? Make your players accountable, make your coaches accountable. What's another awesome term in terms of players, in terms of coaching accountability? The Blake Bob Cope. When I got to coach for him, if he zinged you in front of the staff, that's called a zinger. Yes? My first year in major college, I was low man on the totem pole, spring football practice, 97 zingers. D-line had 587 zingers. I was in charge of zingers. Zingers is when he lights you up right in front of everybody. So that D-line guy's no longer in coaching. Anyway, I was feeling kind of sorry for myself because we always talk personnel each day. And I'm talking about, and they started asking about the guy. Well, you tell me about so-and-so. So I said, you know, Coach, I can't get this guy in a stance. He looked me right in the eye. I said, you know something, you can tell a trapper by his fur. Zing! That is his thing. Make your coaches accountable before you can ever start on the players. Okay, snap it on. So I'm talking here to Bobby April when he came down to me on this, and then you see me step in the shadow. That's why, but I'm explaining this concept to him. Plus, he bought into all this stuff, boy. That's why. Because if you haven't coached in the NFL, man, they're still kids. They're just bigger, older kids. They're still kids. Big one. Pause it right there. Kickoff coverage. You never want to run down. If you're in the core, who is the core? L3, L4, L5. If you're going from 5 on the side, that's 3, 4 counting from the outside in. Yes. This is your core, guys. So right there's R3, R4, R5, right there's a kicker, right? L5, L4, L3. When you're covering a kickoff, because it isn't my topic, but you want to learn this stuff someday, you will teach your kids indicators, even in high school. When they hit the 40 going full speed, within 3 steps they'll know where that return's going, I promise. Because they learn to read certain indicators of guys that are going to tell them right where that return is going. What you don't want covering a kickoff, the core guy, is to run down with tunnel vision, or I don't see squat. Yes? Such as, I wish they would have taught me this in my day. If they would have had ESPN in my day, I would have been on it. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I'm the guy that received it instead of giving it. What happened, which probably explains a lot of things to you guys, I played L5, but it probably explains a lot of things. So they never taught me how to read their apex in their front 5. That's the center guy. So I was just taught to what? Run down and stay in my lane. There are no lanes. We'll get to talk that someday. There are no lanes. So I would take off. This guy would disappear that way. They never taught me, as you're covering, you better throw your eyes that way. Because if he's disappearing, if somebody's coming to crosswalk and ear hole you, you'll be able to cross face it and beat it. Because if you don't, if you have tunnel vision, you're going to get clocked because you'll never see it, yes? When you cover kickoffs, you never want to have tunnel vision playing in the core. Snap it on, because here's what's going to happen to you in a minute if you have tunnel vision. You never want tunnel vision, so that's a cut up of a tunnel from some advertisement out of it. That's what's going to happen to you right there. If you have tunnel vision, boom! You'll never see it coming. You'll never see it coming. And they never forget what? Tunnel vision.
Thank you.
And that is big. What's going to come on next, you're going to see cut-ups of motorcycle racers with a camera right on the motorcycle, so guys are flying right down the highway. And we're going to work on not having tunnel vision here in a second. And I'll start to call on guys here to see if we're all on the same page. Because that's what's going to happen if you have tunnel vision. You'll never see it coming. Wow. That was a cut up out of Sports Illustrated. The use of overhead plates. Now we'll get into videotape. Oh, pause, I like it. Pause it. This is my favorite. This is one your players will never get it. So you explain this one to them. Good next, huh? Anyway, look at these question marks. Here's the big secret. Special teams or anything. You guys think back as players. What I did. You know those days in the off season when you didn't want to lift, you didn't want to run, you didn't want to do squat. You got the blahs, yes? How would you get up off your ass and get yourself going and make yourself better? You would always ask yourself the big question. Because this is what any competitive kid does. You've got to teach your kids, man, not just how to lead, how to be competitive. They don't know. They're kids. Here's the big secret. Off season, those days I kind of have the blahs. Yes, I started thinking about every guy I got to play over against next year from those opposing teams. How hard is he going to work today to get better compared to how hard today I'm going to work to get better, right? And that'll get me off my butt and going. So this is what the question mark one is about. Answer the question. What am I doing today to make myself better on special teams than those guys I'm playing against? Yes? That's big. Okay, snap it on. This is another example of an overhead plate cut out from a magazine. He who dies with the most toys is
Dead.
still dead. Very good, man. Passed the first test. But you take the time, these are ones you have to explain to them. When we get into the sound stuff later, there's some serious hysterical stuff on here in a minute. But that's the point. You think back to all the best teachers you ever had in high school or college. They had a thing in common. They made learning fun. Yes? Plus, you've got those kind of guys on special teams that are basic crazies anyway. I mean, for them, it's ideal. Because of playing the kicking game, you got to be a what? An RG, a real guy. Play him back! Play him back! Play him back and oppose it! Hey, you better make cut-ups and jackasses so all your kids watch is jackass. Pay attention. Kickoff coverage. If you're hit early, you always avoid them. Trust me. If you're hit in the iffy zone, you got a two gap. If you're hit late, you're down inside the 25, right there's a blocker. Yes, return is just a couple yards behind him. You got to run right through this guy so you don't open up a crease. If you're ever hit late, you've got to run right through it. You've got to reduce the hip and shoulder and take him on. You can never be treetop tall, yes? Because if you're treetop tall in kickoff coverage, as you take people on, you never want to give up any soft parts of the body. And what's the softer of them all? The yah-yahs. So we show them the cut-ups of jackass here. Okay, snap it on. This is on sound play. Play it back to the beginning. You fully missed it. Okay, back for this guy. This guy makes millions of dollars for just taking shit. Okay, here we go. This is a great extreme of what? Pause it. Pause it. Big. Write this down. This guy is an announcer for ABC. Hey, you know this guy's a faggot. B, he drives me crazy. He's so bad every time he announces a game, I turn off the sound. He's not even from Canada, and he pronounces offense, offense. Every time a team punts, he does this. Every game on ABC that he does in college football. The 5 don'ts of the kicking game: don't be offside, don't hold, don't clip, blah, blah, blah. The 5 don'ts. The big secret to coaching special teams: you never use the word what? Don't. How many of you guys have friggin' kids? It's the same as your own kids. From the time they can hardly walk, and you know how they all find the corners, bang, you spend all your time in ER? Because you kept saying what? Whatever you do, don't run into the counter. So your kids do. Because you use the word don't. When he's going to bring out the guy shooting a paintball into him, he's saying, whatever you do, don't shoot me in the leg. So the guy at the end, what? He shoots you in the leg because he said don't. You never use the word don't, coach anything, because they will do it, man. It's the human condition. Not just high school guys, college guys, and pro guys. So on punt return, we never say, don't be offside, don't clip, don't hold. We never use the word don't, because they will. They will. Okay, snap it on.
Best shot ever. Get in there.
Please, you gotta not hit me in the leg.
Not hit me in the leg, same as don't, so he shoots him in the leg.
Is that it? That's it.
Here it comes, right in the leg now. He said, don't shoot me in the leg, so he did. That's what your players are doing, man, if you use the word don't. Pause! Playing back. Fat lip. If you think you're this kind of guy, you come in and see me about playing on the kickoff team. Especially in the what? In the core. If you're this kind of guy, this is Fat Lip's idea of fun here. He's going to go bombing down a banister and totally kill himself and turn around and smile at you. My kind of guy in kickoff coverage. Just living on the edge, yes? Snap it on. Here he comes. Fat Lip. Yeah. Oh! Look at that smile! Ah, I love that shit! Pause it! Pause it! What did I tell you? Special teams, you gotta be a what? A real guy! You better get into this, man. Kill them! Kill them all! Kill them all! You're fighting for 100 yards of real estate, just like in a war. What's the only difference? Nobody dies. That's a great thing. Stuff we can teach you later, you get thrown in jail for on a normal day. Kill them all. Now, you may want to mellow that out a little, but that's basically how I teach it. Because you got to have a kill them all mentality. Such as what? There's 2 kinds of bayonet fighter, right? You know that. There's the quick and the dead. That's it. But Fat Lip is my kind of guy. I'm getting that guy on the kickoff team, you know what I'm saying? Okay, snap it on. Pause! The human bullseye! Here's what happens again. If you go down treetop tall and kickoff, and you got to take on blockers, and you're treetop tall. You're as bad as the guy in Jackass who was the human target. Watch this guy. This guy gets... That's what you don't want on kickoff coverage when you're taking on the blockers. Pause it! Getting back to what kind of guys we want on special teams. If this is your idea of fun, you can come in and see us, yes? What happens, this guy's on a skateboard, goes, they're on friggin' steps and shit, concrete. This isn't snow. Then he jumps up later and he kicks off the wheels and comes down the ramp. I mean, the guy's insane. Okay, snap it on. Watch this move.
Get closer, Pioneer!
Pause! Kickoff return. Kickoff return. Or punt return. We'll get into a little bit more detail after a while for you. What happens is, you want to be like the dog and the bunny. The dog and the bunny, this guy's dressed up in a bunny suit, and they turn those killer dogs loose on you. Unbelievable. When you get a block, we want you to stick it like glue on the block, right? And we want you to finish the guy on kickoff or punt return. We want you to finish him. Yes? So to get our point across, we show them the dog and the bunny here. Take a look at this dog. This dog's either blocking on kickoff return or he's blocking on punt return, but he will finish the bunny every time. Watch what he does later when he tears off the buddy's head. He goes back and attacks the body of the dummy, which means what? If you took care of one guy, work up the field, and you take care of another one, yes? Screeching tires and screaming women, man, on special teams. Get after it. Snap it on. Kick off return, punt return. Get all over and stick like go on the block and big, play it back. What did I just tell you? You take care of one, work back on the field, you take care of another one. Rip his head up and you go get somebody else, yes? Get after their ass. You make special teams special. Pause it. MCX. Do you ever watch MCX? Yeah. You've got to watch it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you owe yourself to do this. This is a Japanese show in Japan. They dub it into English. The sound bites are... Here's what you're going to see, because if you just saw this before I explain it, you go, what is he talking about? Here is what I am talking about. The core guys, and they go bombing down under the kickoff. If you're hit late, avoid it. So if a guy sets up on you early, you avoid him. All right? So say a guy in their front five came back and set up on me with his pads just tilted a tad there, yes? Well, if he's tilted there, he's kicking you that way, the return's this way. So you get on top of him, then you eye fixate him right by his outside ear, you dip, rip, and uppercut, and you come underneath. As you do that on the avoid, as you avoid running downhill, you can never cut down on your stride length. Don't ever study your feet, just run like hell. I fixate them and slip them, reduce the hip and shoulder, scrape paint, and haul ass. But whatever happens, on kickoff coverage, never cut down on your stride length, ever. So we show them these cut-ups at MCX, where they got all these off-the-wall presentations. These people go flying through there, and then you'll see them throwing these obstacles at them. Take a look at the guys that cut down their stride length instead of avoiding it, or they slow down, they just get crushed. But the ones that keep their feet going are able to get through this obstacle. Yes?
Looks like he's clowning around in the blanket. Moving nicely through the sponges. Coming up on the Nards at two.
You can't slow down. It's over. It's over. You can never cut down your stride length, or you will get ear holes. That gush is ugly stuff, man. Never cut down your stride length. But here comes a guy, he doesn't cut down his stride length, they start throwing the obstacles at him.
Here comes his favorite part of the course, the Nards of Doom.
Play it back a little bit. Play it back. Take a look at his feet. He never cut down on his stride length. Get your skinny ass moving. Okay, we go. Now this guy's got some serious hormone problems here at the end.
A good swing. And up on the platform, and he's done it, Ken.
Pause! You never want to be treetop tall if you're blocked late. If you're blocked late, yes? There's a blocker, returns just a couple yards behind him, yes? You've got to reduce the hip and shoulders and take him on from low to high and run him right into the return man so you don't open up a crease. You cannot be treetop tall. So what this event is from MCX, there's the doors, they have an X on them. Some of them are paper mache, but some of them are solid doors. Oh, guys get crushed. Okay, snap it on. Here's what happens if you're treetop tall, if you're blocked late.
Disability for spastic colon in a weak grip.
Oh.
Yeah, he was fired for dropping logs. Looks like he just dropped himself right there, Jim. That's our MXC impact replay. Now he's got a spastic shoulder to go with this spastic colon. That's not what...
But here's what happens if you reduce his shoulder.
Peeling his layer. Pushing.
Here's what happens if you reduce his shoulder if you hit late. Run right through it. Boom! That's what I want right there. Pop right up. If you're hit late, run right through it. Pause it! Right into game cuts. Stare at L4 up here from the cover team's point of view. That'd be the fourth guy over. Watch what happens if you're treetop tall, yes? This is the Buffalo Bills. Stare at L4. He's right there, right? One, is that 4?
Yep.
Okay, so just stare at 4 here. Watch him be treetop tall at the end. He gets clocked here. Okay, well. L4, the fourth guy from the right. But he stays treetop tall. Boom! Play it back.
Ooh.
Just had his cavities popped out of his head right there. He didn't have to go to the dentist. Watch L4. He didn't reduce his hips and shoulders to get from low to high to take him on. Boom. Play back. So we start showing. Play it back. Back means back. You're getting 2 at the tape here, Josh. Go ahead and snap it on. You want to be treetop tall if you hit late. Pause it. We're in now. You know what? Kickoff coverage, you better not have what?
Tunnel vision.
What you're all going to do, not knowing who's going to be tested first. Just take a look at this. What this is, they show all those motorcycle races on TV all the time. So you cut those out because they put the camera in front of the motorcycle, right? So in theory, this is tunnel vision. What I want you to do is you visualize you're covering the kickoff. As you're looking down here, what I want you to do off the tape, because this motorcycle's moving, it's just like I'm sprinting, right? As you go down the tunnel, I want you, not turn your head, but I want you to work your eyes from the left to the right, to the left to the right all the time, but don't turn your head doing it. Just look, as you're going down the tunnel, just throw your eyes from the left to the right, to the left to the right, and keep coming back, anywhere into the middle of the highway. Go ahead and try that. Just everybody do that. Okay, play it back. Play it back. And pause. Pause, pause, pause! Pause! Go back a bit. Pause it. You're up first. Your first name?
Isaiah.
Isaiah, my man! Yes, I know you! Was it the tackler or the specialty?
Tackler.
But hey, was that awesome or what? You know what's neat? Very few mistakes were made, on Sunday by the college guys, were you? Why? Because you saw it on every dimension for a day and a half, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Isaiah's my man, so Isaiah's up first. Isaiah, as you're bombing down the tunnel, your eyes are going from left to right, yes? The first person of a human you see, tell me if he's on the right or the left, okay? Go ahead and snap one. Who saw it already? Anybody see him already?
That was on the last.
Play it back. Did you see him early? The guy appeared on the left? Okay, go ahead and play it. Isaiah's still up. Don't count that first guy, Isaiah. You're going to get on down into that tube. Tell me how many guys you see on the left-hand side. Come on, come on. Now, 3, right? There's 3. Very good, because you didn't have a tunnel vision. All right. So we give them all these eye tests once they get it. Now, it isn't fair to you because you really haven't been taught kickoff coverage stuff. Okay, play it back. Big. What I'm going to show you guys now, and I want you to have an open mind about this. We want our guys making plays on kickoff. If you get a chance next year, if I get a chance in the break, I'll tell you, there's 12 teams in the NFL you want to watch on kickoff coverage. Because those are the 12 teams we've done in-service stuff for. Here's what I'm talking about. Normally, I don't care what kind of a kickoff you run, 6 on one side, 4 on another, 5 and 5, I don't care, it doesn't matter. What does matter, say for us, R2 is going to be what's called the edger. R1, as he bombs down there, since he gets inside the 30, he'll throttle down and become the halves player, yes? This guy is coming off the edge, all right? Indicators. High school, college, the pros, day 1, whoever your edgers are. What did I tell you earlier? 3 steps past the tee, I'm going to know where this return is going, yes? Watch your productivity of your edgers go up a mile. Say they're in a standard front. They've got 5 up. Day number 1, your edger, your first indicator is the tackle. So as I hit the tee at the 40 going full speed, his ass is disappearing back and in. Day number 1, you come screaming off his ass, right off the outside of his ass, and fade motorcycles and come screaming, because that return is middle or that way, but ain't back over here. And when you come screaming off the edge, become a motorcycle driver. Reduce that hip and shoulder, that speeds up your feet, come screaming off the backside edge, yes? Day number 1, any age group. Day 2, if I was the edger over here, the Pride of Orem, I was the edger coming down over here. Who's my indicator? It's the tackle, attaboy. Day number 2, if they're in the standard front, we call these guys ends. These are up backs, or you can call them wings, and there's their guys back deep, yes? Okay, this is the first level, second and third levels, yes? Day number 2, his butt disappears back and in, yes? So I do I start screaming off his outside cheek or his inside cheek?
Outside.
Outside cheek. And think motorcycles, yes? Right as I do that, you get a quick fix. As soon as you find this button, you start screaming. Throw your eyes to the second, third levels. All these guys are also working where? Over there. Return ain't coming back at you, Vernon. You come screaming off the edge, become a motorcycle driver, turn and blow up that returner, get him on his near peck. Your guys will come in the backside and blow them up a bunch. A bunch, because he knows what he's looking for. Day 3, I want you to do this. If you're a Bill Murray fan, you'll have an excuse to go to your video store and get the tape again. Stripes. You don't have to video the whole movie. You take out that part in the movie where he goes, something's wrong, very, very wrong. You want to cut that up, bring in your edgers, show them that cut up before you teach them this. Then they'll come back and you go, that's stripes. That's something's very, very wrong. Here it is, something's very, very wrong. I'm up again. Tackles ass, disappears inside, right? I'm coming right off the ass as hard as I can go, because we know what? We're in a foot race against the cover team is first. We want to beat the blocking pattern down, and that means just effort. We're going to beat the blocking pattern down. We're going to run faster going forward than you are going backwards. All right? So now, right as I come off his ass, that's your first indicator. Yes? Suddenly, from the second and third level, these guys are going back over here and they're hovering. What's that tell you? That's the reverse of the throwback. So I come right off his ass, here comes the returner, get right to his outside peck and blow it up. You go, how do you know that? Because they'll tell you. All right? Indicators coming off the edge. Next is big for you. The best kickoff return there is, trust me, if we ever get to do any stuff for you guys at your staffs, is the trap. You guys in our coaching association, we've got all kinds of cut-ups of how to teach, plus game cuts of the trap. Here's what I'm talking about. Their front 5 will come back and finesse ear-hole guys to knock them that way. Then they'll bring the upbacks and the ends together, and they'll work just outside the hash to actually form a trap, because they're knocking, front 5's knocking everybody else in, right? So they will form a trap. It's a massive trap. It's just down, down, kick. Except there's not one guy in the trap, there's at least 4. If they're coached well, the returner will run about a yard outside the widest guy in the trap. Because they're trying to get your cover guys to overexpand, because they've been taught to what? Stay in their lanes, get the ball to your inside shoulder, and you get clocked. What happens when you not play that? Play back. Kill them. Here's what's going to happen. Go ahead and pause it, or stop it if you want. Here I come off the edge. Hit stop. Tackle disappeared inside. As I start coming off his ass, here comes the trap right back at me. Act like you know shit from Shinola, right? Tackle disappeared. Here comes the trap. Work back outside. Sell that outside guy in the trap. You're going to stay outside him because that's what they want. Because they know what? They know your full player is going to hover up on top as a halves. What the trap doesn't want is for this to have to bounce. They want to hit that crease. So what's going to happen, at the last second, your edger is going to eye fixate him outside and then go right through his inside eye as hard as he can go with an outside flipper as hard as he can go. It is unbelievable. That return man goes, oh shit. He tries to bounce, and then your full guy is just inside out into the boundary. We blow your ass up because you know how to what's called zone fit against the trap. What you don't want, have your edger stay outside, because now they'll have the outside guy take care of your edger. Based on whoever blocks, one of these 3 is now going to end up on your full guy, and you've got a world of hurt going here. So this all ties into the motorcycles, all right? And that's an example of an indicator for an edger, because a lot of people aren't good at their edger play, and that's at every level. If you'll go ahead and snap it on, please. So this is that kind of tilt, exaggeration. We better see you coming off what? The edge. Yes? Show me that nice lean and come off the backside. Show me an edge. Reduce that hip and shoulder and get that great lean. Tackle goes inside. There I am. I am the left edger. Then the other guy turns the other way to be the right edger. Give me that great tilt. Come out the backside and blow it out. Back here again to tunnel vision, but you want your eyes going left to right, left to right, left to right. Then I'll explain the next one here to you. Okay, on back until I say pause. And pause. Perfect. You're up. Your first name? Chris. Chris, hi Chris. Bill, good to see you, man. Keep throwing your eyes. As you're going down the tunnel, keep throwing your eyes left to right, left to right, left to right. The test is this, and if anybody sees it first, spit it out. So you're all competing with Chris. You ever fish?
Yes.
Nice hat. No, it looks like it's been in the boat a few times. Looks like it's been out of the boat a few times. What you're going to do, Chris, now if somebody else sees it center, spit it out. This is the test. Throwing your, not your head going all over the place, right? But your eyes going boom, 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 all the way down there, left, right, left, right, left, right, so I don't have tunnel vision, yes? You tell me where a human being appears first. To the, we haven't even turned the tape on, Vern. To the left, to the right. Knowing that this is left, and this is right. Keep throwing your eyes. As soon as you see a person on either side, yell out left or right. If somebody sees it, as soon as anybody here sees it, spit it out, left or right. Okay, snap it on. Play it back. Man, you all had tunnel vision. But that's okay, you know why? You don't know how to use your eyes yet. There's a million people to your left, you just didn't see them because you weren't focused. Who was here for the offensive line stuff? Perfect, the perfect foil. I know you were, Vern. Why he couldn't see all those people to the left? Because he hasn't learned yet how to really keep his focus. As you're flying down there, you got to see things, yes? He lost his focus. You've got to have cutting edge things to get your point across. Step up here. You're a good-sized lad. Pay attention. As soon as you guys see this, if you've ever been known to imbibe, you'll never buy a beer again. Because you're going to spring this on all your buddies starting tonight! Tonight! Stick out your arm straight. Make a tight fist, tight jaw. I'm going to put my hand on you right here. I'm going to try to pull it down. You don't let me pull it down. All set? He's a strong mother, trust me. Pause. I own him! Because he's going to lose his focus right here. Are you set? Pardon me while I shrug. Tight fist. Come on. Your brain can't help it. It's thinking about this. Do it again. Tight fist. Tight. Don't let me. No, hold it tight so I can't. Don't let me take it down. Good. All set? So then they think they're gonna what? They're gonna dick you. So no, they do. So the guys at BYU went, okay. So he'll shut his eyes. Go ahead, get your eyes shut. Because they figure, put your arm out there, hold it still. Because they figure now they have me because his eyes are shut. No, he's gonna lose his focus over here. You're the perfect foil. You need attention getters to get your point across. Next, kickoff return. Once we set and punch, you always get your hands inside, you drop your ass, you always hit from low to high, elbows in tight, you hit with a knife in the hands, and you get on him. You don't allow this to happen. You want to go write this down, take it back to everybody on your staff. A lot of you guys have said this, but you haven't had the attention getter. Kickoff return or punt return. Whoever you have to block, don't you ever come off the field and tell me you couldn't get your hands inside of that guy. Don't you ever come off the field and tell me you cannot get your hands inside to be able to punch that guy. Because if you couldn't, he's doing a better job with his hands than you're doing with your hands. And you better be getting that taught in the O-line. You better be getting that taught in the D-line. You better be getting that taught to the DBs against stock. Yes? And a lot of us have said that. The key is we didn't have the attention getter. Step up foil! Step up foil! This is the one you'll never buy a beer again. When your buddies see this, go, I'll take this bet. You're going to take your index finger. You're going to put it 1 inch from my nose. An inch. I'm going to put my hands out here. I'll bet you a beer. As soon as your hand moves, you can't touch my nose before I can knock it off. So all your buddies will go, Shit, I'll take that bet. That one right there, and he's out even, yes. Now don't do what the martial arts guy did. He got all pissed off and he went, boom! Just as soon as you have him, guys, no ten choking. I ate him up on it. He got pissed, and the guy's a martial arts guy, as if this thing is already screwed up enough. He just blasted it. What's that? I haven't looked at it. Get closer. And if you think it's fast from there, when you set the punch on kickoff return, the hands are always at the holster area, and you come out of the holsters and punch from low to high, go ahead. If you think it's fast from out here, watch when I'm coming out of the holsters. But isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
The point being of what? That cover man would never be there, my hands would never be there. So don't you ever come off the field and tell me you can't get your hands inside on kickoff return, block, or punt return. Yes? That's big. Attention getters are big, man. Make learning fun for them. Get there in the concepts, but we need attention getters. Thanks, Chris. Okay, snap it on. Tunnel vision. See all those people over on the left? All those people were over there. Got to learn to use your eyes when you're covering. So we're really big on the tunnel vision stuff. There's one on here that's the supreme. Okay, play it back a little bit. Then when I ask you to pause it, pause it. And pause it. I'm up. Isaiah, I'm up. Back it up a little bit. Back it up a little bit. Back. Okay, stop. Isaiah. Keep your eyes going from the left to the right. As soon as you can see the cones, pylons, cones. Give me cones left or cones right. I saw the cones to the left, or I saw the cones to the right, yes? Or they may be on both sides. And then you just yell, cones. Somebody else sees it first, spit it out. Cones left, pylons, I see the cones to the left, the cones to the right, or if I see pylons on both sides, you just yell cones. Snap it on. Does this make any sense? I hope. Yep, they owned you, man. Good, because you're not getting tunneled. You're using your eyes, man. Pause it, which brings up the big secret. Eyes on the board. You already know how to beat the cross. Anybody coming down in the core? So say I'm not L5. I'm L4 or L3. Their indicators is the guard. Yes? So what happens as we take off, this guy disappears back and in. All right? He disappears back and in. Here's the big secret. Great defensive teams, what? Squeeze the football. Yes? There's always somebody coming the inside out. There's always somebody coming from the outside in. Always. Just a matter of who it is. So I'm L4. My indicator starts to disappear in there. As I start coming, he starts to disappear. If my indicator as a 4 starts to go inside, you throw your eyes inside and just start to work that way a tad. Not much, a little. Don't cut down on your stride length. Throw your eyes across the field. Somebody's coming to cross block you to ear hole you, you'd saw him going to run around him, you'd cross face because that return is here. But now it's the trap. It's the finesse ear hole. So I'm 4. I start bombing down, he starts disappearing. I work just a tad that way, but throw your eyes that way. But suddenly everybody's working that way. Not cutting down on your, you better throw your eyes back over here to see what this other tackle's doing. So here I come, I just work a tad here, suddenly they all disappear, they're all disappearing there. Here he comes to ear hole me, because the trap's coming back. I've already seen it. Last second you cross face, runs you right in the trap, and go, how the hell did he know that? Because he knows how to read indicators, and he doesn't get caught in tunnel vision. How about 3? His indicator's the guard. He starts backing in, you come off his outside cheek just a tad more slightly. Throw your head across. Anybody comes across block you, cross face it. Nobody comes, they're all disappearing, throw your eyes back to the tackle or the end, yes? He sets up to block you at the last minute, come off, cross face him, because the return is back over here. Does this make any sense? And I know you can get this done, man. Because Brett gets this done at Powder Playa High School. They had 4 kickoff returns this year, got outside the 20. And we had an average kicker. I mean, sometimes he could belt it pretty good. Sometimes he's like some of those guys that kick. I mean, you'd call him cover right, I mean, corner kick right, and he's going left. Because you said what to him? Whatever you do, on corner kick right, don't kick it to your left. Let's get into some don'ts. Don't ever do this. I tell you, there's all kinds of courage, man. If you never coach kickers, that kid stands there all day. It's freezing cold out. And it comes down to a field goal, right? And we tease those guys a lot, but I tell you, that takes a lot of courage to go in there and hit that sucker, right? But there's a couple of don'ts we don't want, especially if all he does is kick. When you line up for a kickoff, don't you ever line up and start counting. Don't you ever point and count to see if you have 11 guys out there. That smacks of what? Your staff can't coach a lick. You got to have guys count how many guys are out there, right? So he goes, okay, I won't do it. Okay. So there he is. There's Oscar out there. He's all set to kick off, but he knows what? By God, coach says what? I can never point and count those guys. So he does what? He goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Don't do that either. I hate that. Next, punt return. You guys know on a shank punt, you want to take a serious note here. When you get to study punt return stuff someday, how would you like to have a punt return? You can ask Chris about this stuff. We have the best special teams in America, and they had them again last year. What we can show you someday, we've had the same success. You can ask Chris, every level, high school level, college level, pro level. What happens? How would you like to have a punt return that always times out exactly, even if the ball ever hits the ground? That would be the ideal, yes? That is the ideal. The key is this. We're running return to the left. Let's say that guy's a tackle. We align on him 65-35 towards the return. We have a ball key, ball snap. He's trying to protect. We go get him, we attack him, we pin him, drive him back. I don't have time to explain all this. I pin him and drive him back, and I try to keep him pinned as long as I can. He finally escapes me. Well, because I've got him 65-35, he's going to escape over here. And that's fine with me. You always open to him. So after I had him pinned and he finally escaped me, you're always open to him. He doesn't come right back to you right now. Get your whip as you get your depth. Don't turn that on. Get your whip as you get your depth. You're going to run like hell. As you run, trying to get 5 yards outside of him, here's the big secret. Read his feet. He's going where his feet go. So you already pinned him, you got out, open. He doesn't come right back to me right now. Start sprinting down the field. He's going to end up about 1 yard or 2 out in front of you. That's okay, because football is a game of hands. Read his feet. He's going where his feet go. So in the off-season program, guess what? We put our guys in baseball caps. They put the belly cap down, so all they can see is his feet. Here's the big secret. So he's flying. As he's covering, if his feet ever start to chop, or his feet ever start to turn to me, that tells you what? The returner's near. Now you what? You lock on. Now we're right back to the dog and the money. Lock on, find the 5th gear, and go get him. Find the 5th gear, reduce that hip and shoulder thing, brooms, go get him. Right before I can step on his feet, we actually holler at him. Hey! They always look. It's a great thing. College guys look, pro guys, ask him. High school guys look. I'll tell you one thing. I'm covering, and if some of the guys out of the corner of my eye, I just start, and he yells, hey, trust me, I'm going to turn and look. We don't ever click. You just light you up. You are lit, because we know how to play what? Feet. All right? If he ever comes right to you right now, I pin him, I force him to go away from the return. As I open and play his feet, he comes right to me now. Right to me now, yes? Go right to his tricep, lean on him, and just tricep him all the way down the field, because that return is still to the left. And these are things that you really want to start to study someday. All right? And why I'm bringing this up, now, the ball is shanked. The ball is shanked. Our return man is going to wave his arms and yell, away, away. That is not for the guys on the field. Why? We're reading feet. They don't see him waving. If you get nothing else out of today, great sideline involvement. And the kids here are great at it. They're doing it every day, and they're still great at it. Great sideline involvement. You know we're playing feet, so we're not going to see the return man waving his arms and screaming away, away. Our whole bench has got their eyes on the punt return man. When he starts waving his arms away, away, the whole sideline, away, away! They start screaming at the top of their lungs. You'll have the best coach special teams in the world. I'm playing a guy's feet, I'm flying, I hear away, away. They just throw their head up, they find the ball, and they get their ass off the field. It's like the parting of the Red Sea, man. Guys are heading for end zones, sidelines, everywhere. That's coaching. Away, away is the call, not what? Who ever thought this up? Some of you do this, and you know who you are, because you know somebody taught it to you. What is this on a shank punt? Peter, 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 why don't you just call it Dick, Dick? Schlong, Schlong, the human sausage. Why don't you call it what it is? Get away from it. Away, away. Why do we use Peter, Peter? What is that? That's as bad as your kicker counting and shit. No, it is. It drives me crazy. I mean, that's terrible. Who came up with the Peter thing? I don't know what that's supposed to imply, but that's me. Okay, snap it on. I didn't mean to get on a friggin' tangent there. But you want to really stress using your eyes so you have tunnel vision. See all those people on the left? This would be about the last one here. Play it back. All the way back. And pause. Here's the test. I'm up. My man, I'm up. Eyes are going from the left to right. Flying down the tunnel, yes? Eyes going from left to right. As soon as you see anything, first on the left or the right that's white. Anything, white. Because we're in dark. We're playing at home. That's what? Opposite color. Yes? As soon as you see white, to the left of the tunnel, the right to the yellow, you yell white left, white right. Yes? Snap it on. If you see it before him, spit it out. Right, right. They just told you, man. Very good, man. Very good. But make learning fun for them. Teach them what they're truly looking for. There's all those people on the left that you didn't even see before. Because you know how to use your eyes before. These are the same cut-ups. Pause. Stealth. You go, what is he showing them cut-ups and stealth? You ever seen those stealth bombers? One is what? You never see them. Until two, you're blown to smithereens. Because three, it's too late. Because the next thing out of their coaching staff mouth is what? Get the block team out there! Going back to punt return, we want you to become stealth-like on punt return. Stealth-like. Now pay attention because you're going to be tested here a second off the tape. Again, we're going return left, okay? I already drove my guy back and I had him pinned. I don't have time to get in all that. But he finally escapes. I open to him, but he's not coming right back to me, right? Get your whip as I cover. You end up a yard or two behind him, that's okay, it's all angles. 5 yards outside, now I'm going to give you the big secret. On return left, you tell him to get 5 yards outside his feet. You'll settle for 3 or 4, but don't tell him that. You tell him 5. You exaggerate everything coming anywhere near on Friday night or Saturday or Sunday. Now, you become stealth-like now. As soon as he chops those feet, or his feet start to turn to me, as you lock on, think brooms, reduce that hip and shoulder. Think brooms, come on the close, find a 5th gear on the close. Stealth-like. You're going to see cubs of stealth in a minute, peeling off. And when they do in a minute, I want you to tell me if it was return left or return right. Yes? Become stealth-like on punt return. Right before you light him up, which means what? Hide yourself. He'll never see you till the last second. And light him up. Yes? Snap it on. Become stealth-like on punt return. So we show him cut-ups as stealth bombers. And then in a minute, these bombers are going to start peeling off. And I want you to tell me as soon as you can if it's return left or return right. But in that stealth-like, they aren't ever going to see us. We're smooth. They'll never see us because we're going to light you. Here they come. Check him out. Knowing they're punting that way. Which way is the return here? He'll peel off in a minute. Tell me which way the return in.
Right.
Left. It's left. Left. You peel off this way. You got another chance because everything's played. That's what's going to happen to him right there. He'll never see you. That's return right. Become stealth-like. Reduce that hip and shoulder, find a 5th gear, and go get him. Does this make any sense?
Absolutely.
Which way is the return here?
Right.
Right. You got it. Become stealth-like. Reduce that hip and shoulder and close. Find a fifth gear. This is return. Something here in a second. Left. Very good, man. Become stealth-like. Reduce that hip and shoulder and close. Find a fifth gear on the close. Speed up your feet. Find a fifth gear. What's a motorcycle at? That's what you ought to exaggerate. Play it back. That's punt return. The feet start to chop or come to me. Yes? So the return is over here now. So as soon as I see the feet coming, reduce that hip and shoulder close. Become a motorcycle guy. Reduce that hip and shoulder. This is punt return. This is not the edger on kickoff now. This is punt return. Okay, snap it on. Think motorcycle like out of the stealth. Reduce that hip and shoulder and go get him and light him. He'll never see you, man. He'll never see him. But it's important that you outcoach your opponent's coaches by using non-football things of exaggerations to get your point across. That's the point I'm trying to make here. This is punt return. That's return right. He played the feet came to me or chop. This is return right. Become motorcycle light. Reduce that hip and shoulder to close on him. He'll never see him coming. Don't cut down your stride length. Tell me which return this is. Right. Good. Lock on him. Reduce that hip and shoulder. Find a fifth gear. Get your eyes above level and then light him up. Tell me which way the return is here in a minute. Right. Yes? All right. Pause! Take some serious notes here, man. The keeper of the cone. This is what a lot of high schools do. They bring us in. We do 2 or 3 day camps based on what you're trying to get better at. This is at Syosset High School, New York. This is last summer. We want to evaluate guys on kickoff, right? You get this taught in shorts, and it gets just a little physical. It's the keeper of the cone. Let me explain this. And this is not even the good one. I'll put the good one on in a minute. You have 4 agile bags here. Yes? You've got Team A and Team B. Team A takes a guy to become the keeper of the cone over here, and he holds a shield right in this alley. Team B takes one of their studs and puts him over here as the keeper of the cone. 8 yards back are orange cones. This is the deal. I'm the starter. If I had a starter's flag, you got to find me a starter's flag someday. Checkerboard. Anyway, what happens, these guys are going to go in and out of the bags. They're going to go knee overs, and then they're going to go straight down the 2. What do you know about kickoff coverage if you ever hit late? You got to run right through it, right? You don't have time to avoid. You're going to open up the crease. Shield guy, rules. You can't cut them. You can't. But you can do anything else without shield and beat the crap out of them. The point is, who can get to his cone the fastest, yes? The keeper of the cone. Snap it on. This gets a little physical. Okay, snap it on. We're teaching enthusiasm. Guys go ape on this stuff. Oh, man back! Put him on the jackass tank! He was treetop tall! That's what'll happen to you. Stay off the jackass tank. Guys go crazy! Gotta have a good time, man! The keeper of the cone. Pause it! If their teammates don't cheer them on, loud up, you don't count. Teaching great enthusiasm, and you'll see it in a minute I cut. The team that gets beat either does crunches, push-ups, something, right? Because it's a team game. One guy fails, everybody pays. Okay, snap it on. The keeper of the cone. Look at him now! Those 2 shield guys! Oh! Play it back! Now there's 2 of them! Shield to shield! You better release shoulders! Play it back! Now they put in 2 shield guys! Go ahead and play it. There's 2 of them in the alley! Gotta have a good time. Because you'll learn a lot about guys. There they are doing crunches. The keeper of the cone. Play back! You gotta love this. Once this guy to the left, just get clocked. But what? He never quits. He never quits, man. Watch him out of the left. He keeps going. That's great. The keeper of the cone. Pause it. This is important. Based on if you do it in mass, which I like to do to first get it taught, right? Make sure you do this. When you first pair them up, put the studs on the studs, put the meeks on the meeks. Don't put the studs on the meeks. Because you want to have them have success with this stuff and have fun doing it. But you'll also learn a lot about it when you start breaking up varsity guys, JV guys, freshman guys. You just ask for volunteers to step in. You'll find out in a hurry who the RGs are, right? They're dying to get in there. Not just to cover, but to get to blow people up holding those shields, yes? Okay, snap it on. Now we're going here with a couple of seniors here. This is for the World Championship right here. So they get to pick who they want to be the keepers, and they get to pick who's coming down to shoot. All right, next. Pause it. That's the donkey dick. That's a towel. You wrap up, you athletic tape it, solid, looks just like a donkey dick. It'll do you no good. That's why we want to spend some time together some year as a staff. If you can't tackle on kickoff and punt coverage, all the great stuff we can ever show you won't amount up to a hill of beans if you can't get the returner on the ground. Same in defense. You guys can teach the best block protection shit stuff there is, best pursuit stuff there is. If your guys can't tackle them, so you better emphasize tackling what? First, not last. First. Off-season program, first thing in tackling is after I hit up and dig in behind the guy, whatever happens, stay clamped on the guy, yes? What you're going to learn about your kids here is competition. This is unbelievable. We've got 12 teams in the NFL are doing this now. This is hot off-season program. They both have to take a knee. 8 inches up off each end. They both hold the donkey dick, yes? When you say go, there are no rules to it. Yank it out of the other guy's hand. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you flip them over your head, I stomp on them, do something. So I'm going against you, yes? Suddenly, as us two are fighting, one of my hands comes off. I'm down to a hand, but you still have 2 hands. You go till somebody yanks it out of the other guy's hands. You'll see some guys end up with 1 hand. They keep working. They don't let go of that returner for nothing. They end up pulling it out of the other guy's hands with 2 hands. You'll learn a lot about your kids here. Okay, this is the towel grab for special teams and defense over coaching hand strength on the tackle. Once I get in behind and dig in and latch on, don't you let go for nothing. Yes? Okay, snap it on. Towel grab! This is beauty, boy. Watch these guys. Couple of real guys here. It's a woolly dervish. Don't you let go of that guy for nothing. He's down to 1 hand. You go to a failure. If somebody yanks out of the other guy's hand, this will gas you too, I'm telling you. Towel grab's a beautiful thing, man.
So
Yeah.
once the 1 hand comes off, you can't put it back on.
Nope, you're down to a hand. Gonna love it. punt returners. We're doing a whole session on this later today. This is from the Rams after we had shown it to him, because Bobby April was with the Rams before he went to the Buffalo Bills. But you want coaching punt returners. You never catch the ball over sternum height. Because you see you got to get your eyes up in a hurry. We're going to explain this afternoon. But the point being, as the ball comes down, yes, as you sink your hips, we'll get into the modified pro plant this afternoon. How your return men on the catch can already be getting back up the field. You will go nuts when you see this. How your returners, when they catch the ball, they're already going downtown. The key is, though, as the ball comes down, you've got to chin it and tuck it. So as it comes down, your eyes and chin got to follow all the way into the tuck. So what happens, you got to have a good time. You get your point across, you do this stationary, I throw up the hardest kind of punt there is every time. That is a what? A spiral, right? So I throw up one. You stand in front of it, sink your hips, catch it, you tuck it in an arm. I throw up another one. Okay. Now I got two. I throw up the third one. Okay, tuck it, catch it in the middle. One guy gets to 5 here before the 6th one. They'll never get this 6th one. Why? Because there's too many damn balls that finally hits it. But you're really forcing them to follow the ball all the way into the basket, yes? Okay, snap it on. This is from the Ram. This is not easy. Watch him how it forces his eyes to go down. See him? Follow your eyes all the way to the catch. But that is pretty good right there, man. This is not easy. See, this guy's eyes are pretty good. No, see, nobody ever gets the 6th one or the 5th one normally because you got too many balls after a while. See, this guy's eyes aren't near as good. See, his eyes are not going all the way into the catch. You don't want to oversink the hips like you did on the 3rd one either, because if you touch your knee down in high school or college, I'm down. But you come up with all great kinds of exaggerations where your kids get really confident at being able to do things.
Flashing the watch.
Pause! Big! Final thing. Now I got how long? 5 minutes? No minutes? You got to see this. What time am I supposed to end now? 3 minutes. Huh? 3 minutes. I'll use them. Pay attention here. This is big. We're going to get into detail on this afternoon, but this you've got to see. Bobby April again. He came into me. They had a couple of punt returners. Yes? They could really catch it. They can really line it up, but their contact courage is just a little suspect. Well, you don't want to tell them that your contact courage is suspect. So what I taught him, he brought his guys into the meeting. He did what I'm going to share with you. He called me back the next day. He was screaming! He said, I want to get my point across to him. So he brought him in individually. He said, men, look, I'm going to show you some cut-ups of cowboys trying to ride those Brahma bulls. I want you to sit here and watch this, and then I want you to tell me what this meant to you in terms of returning punts. And both kids, in private, individually, said, man, those guys are tough. Watch, you're going to see some guys who get gored, gashed, mutilated. They all get up and walk away because they're what? Tough. Tough. And the point was what? They had the answer. Then he had no problem with either guy. You know what I'm saying? So there's some things, just an example, if you tell them what you're looking for, kind of get your kids into a dialogue of what this meant to them. But this is for punt returners. This is nothing but toughness. Okay, snap it on. Boom on his head! Got it! Watch this in slow motion, man. He eats it.
He's working with Joe Baumgartner, who is really a
Oh, caught him right in the head.
best clowns in the business in the 1990s.
Tough boy. Pause it. Another thing that you bring up, because your kids won't get it, either will you. You also want to share this with your offensive backfield coaches. Some of you guys that come to the offensive run game blocking clinic are going to see some of the ball security stuff for the backs also. What do great backs and returners all have in common? They drive cover guys or defensive guys nuts. Have you ever watched the good ones? As soon as they hit the ground, when they're tackled, they always pop up first. They always pop, it's like they put their hands on a hot stove, and poof, they just pop right back up. That's what great punt returners did. If you notice, that's what that kid did. As soon as he hit the ground, he got himself off the ground, yes? You get up before the tacklers do. That is basic. Okay, snap it on.
What's this bird kid?
Right in the head!
He takes a shot right there. You can see.
Then right in the yo-yos!
Run hard.
Watch this in slow motion. This guy just that. He is tough. Helicopter. Then right in the yo-yos.
He is standing up and he looks
Tough. Tough. Tough.
Championship rodeo.
Pause.
He can do it before he
Pause it. Write this down. Final thing before the break. Kickoff coverage. You know what? If you're hit early, avoid them, right? Beat them to the butt side. That is fundamental. Beat them to the butt side. Here's what I'm talking about. I'm any of those guys in the core. If my indicator goes straight back, and I'm L4, so my indicator is the guard. Yes? He goes straight back. I'm working right off the edge of his ass as hard as I can go. Suddenly he turns and sets on a slight angle. He's kicking me this way, yes? So his head's there, his butt must be over here. Yes? You get on top of him, eye fixated, reduce your shoulder slip, and you slip him, you always beat him to the butt side. Watch this cut up. Here's what happens to you if that bull is the blocker and you're the cover man. Watch when he beats him to the butt side, the bull never gets him. When he don't go to the butt side, the bull what? Always gets him. Then this guy ends up in what? Orbit! Okay, snap it on, because that's what will happen to you if you don't beat the butt side.
Oregon says here, I'll help you to your feet, Don.
Beat the butt side.
The blood on Don Yates there, the left side of his
Be a
head.
warrior. Not by putting paint on. That's how you get the inside. What happens if you don't beat the butt side? That's what's going to happen.
Shot right there. Any move being able to get back up.
Oh! My favorite.
70.
Beat him to the butt side and it's over, man. This guy's the best in the world here, man.
Right here, you talk about taking the move away from you.
Yeah, he tried to start it around to the right and was going to fake back to the left.
Yeah, you don't have time to
Pulled him
overthink.
right
No more.
fake.
You make one move and go, yeah?
There's his fake. And see how hard it is to get around
Make
those big
one move and
horns?
go, man.
I mean, they're sticking out at...
Pause. Blocking punts. Big. When you block punts, you always take it off the punter's foot. That's in the old days. Now we take it off a foot above his foot. You guys know we never lay out on punts. This ain't PAT field goal block. You never lay out. Come off the edge. You shoot your hands late, thumb to thumb. We show them cut-ups of volleyball players at the net, taking on a spike. Take a look at the great ones in volleyball. They go straight up in the net. They get thumb to thumb, but they spread their fingers wide to make a bigger base. They go up thumb to thumb, and here's the big secret. You'll never see them try to swat it back on the spike. They just go up thumb to thumb. They just let it happen. The ball just explodes off their hands back to the other team. You don't swat the ball. Now the key issue is what? What if you're not on time? You're coming off the edge. The punter's already into his leg swing. I know what? I've got to get my hands a foot above his foot. So we'll never lay out, but we will lay up. So how you teach it, off-season and training camp, all you need is a pulley, a tree, anything. A tether ball or a volleyball, half inflated, and you have a hook in it. It's a guy coming off the edge, and this is not like a highlight cut up, because you're going to see how hard this is at first. But once they get it, they learn how to lay up. If you're not on time, he's into his leg swing. You've got to lay up to still take it off the top of his foot. Okay, snap it on. He completely missed it the first time. This is a guy from the Rams. Completely missed it the first time. Barely touched it the second. It's not easy, man. But once they get it, it's unbelievable. A little bit better, but I don't want to see one hand. I want to see two hands. Am I in here again? Yes, I am. Better. Don't swat it. 5-yard jog in the backfield, don't swat it, just get thumb to thumb. Little bit of it, don't have to swat it. Really good right there. Now you're going to see next why you teach this. You'll see from a Super Bowl, I can't remember which Super Bowl. Watch this guy in a second. Punter's going to be completely into the leg swing. Watch this guy lay up. Here it comes. He'll take it. Oh, this is pre-practice in training camp, so they're all over there to work blocking punts. Play the leg swing. Get thumb to thumb. There we go. Just let it happen. You don't have to knock it back. Here it comes. Watch this. This would be the best you've ever seen. The guy's into his leg swing, so we'll always lay up, but never what? Out. Look at that. That is the tetherball drill exactly happening in the game. You'll see it again. If you ever block a punt and it goes in the end zone, fall on it. Everybody else is going to form a pile around you and protect you so that people can't try to pop it out of the pile. Take a look at it again. He's already into his leg swing. You're still going to get your hands a foot above his foot. A foot. That is 12 inches. But the carryover of cutting edge drills actually happening in games. Here's the last shot of it. So you just let thumb to thumb, that ball exploded. Go ahead and turn it off. I just kind of scratched the surface on this, but I hope it gave you some ideas. Yes? Get to where you have to get to then.